The murder, I beg your pardon. The murder of Glasgow shopkeeper Asad Shah on the 24th of March this year sent shockwaves through the shorelands area of the city and saw hundreds take to the streets for a vigil in his honour. Today, his killer pled guilty to murder at Glasgow's High Court. But why would someone kill a man described by his family and his local community as caring, as generous and as peaceful? Secunda Kamani has been speaking exclusively to the victim's brother and can report new details on the murder, including how it's linked to another high-profile killing in Pakistan.
A well-loved British Pakistani shopkeeper, Asad Shah, is brutally murdered by another Muslim. A community, a family, are left asking why. Initially, tabloids linked the murder to a Facebook post hours before his death, where Asad wished everyone a happy Easter. Others said it was because he belonged to the persecuted Ahmadiyya sect of Islam. But the truth was more complicated. This is the story of a murder that was planned in Bradford, carried out here in Glasgow, but inspired by events in Pakistan. It ties together the killing of a Scottish shopkeeper with the killing of a Pakistani politician 5 years ago. Both victims accused by some Muslims of having committed blasphemy. Today in court, Asad Shah's killer pled guilty to murder, claiming he was defending Islam.
I wouldn't call him a man. I really don't have any message for that monster. He basically took away a person who was peaceful, who wanted unity in the world, who wanted the communities to unite, who wanted to help the community, and him harming someone of peace is literally, he's the enemy of humanity.
On the 24th of March, Asad Shah had been working in his family's shop when he was brutally attacked. After stabbing him to death, his killer, who had travelled 200 miles from Bradford, calmly waited at a bus stop opposite for the police.
He always put...
Asad's brother witnessed the attack but still finds it too difficult to talk about. He told me his father had brought the family to Scotland in the 90s from Pakistan to escape religious intolerance.
Us being Ahmadis, his pharmacy was set on fire by the extremists there, and his hospital was burnt down, and we had an apartment above the pharmacy where my parents were with the kids. It was set on fire. My dad thought about our future, and he thought, you know, we'd be safer in Britain. Unimaginable, that's what's happened to my brother. And it was my dad trying to protect all the kids, thinking something like this would happen in Pakistan, and it's happened here.
But it seems Asad wasn't targeted for his Ahmadi faith, but because of videos he was posting online, recorded in his shop, but discussing his spiritual beliefs. In some, he claims to be a prophet himself. One of those who watched the videos and who was incensed by them was 32-year-old Tanveer Ahmed, a minicab driver from Bradford, who would go on to murder Asad Shah. Tanveer Ahmed was a fervent admirer of another killer, Mumtaz Qadri, who had murdered a prominent liberal Pakistani politician because he was proposing to reform Pakistan's controversial blasphemy laws. Qadri was executed earlier this year, but many in Pakistan held him up as a hero, who in their view defended the honour of the Prophet. Thousands turned out for his funeral. Qadri's brother says Tanveer Ahmed had talked to him about Glasgow shopkeeper Asad Shah.
तनवीर कादरी साहब बहुत अपसेट थे और वो कहते थे कि ये शख्स तो जितना जल्द हो जाए ये जो है इस दुनिया से वासले जहन्नम हो जाए तो ये माशरे के लिए अच्छा है.
Photo tributes online portray the two killers together. Qadri's brother says Tanveer Ahmed had seen Mumtaz Qadri in a dream before the murder and was inspired by his example.
उन्होंने ये ख्वाब सुनाया कि जब कि मैंने गाजी साहब को ख्वाब में देखा, वो मेरे पास आके बैठते हैं, मुझे प्यार करते हैं, कहते हैं अल्लाह पाक तुमसे दीन का काम लेंगे.
Tanveer Ahmed wasn't the only person in Britain to admire Mumtaz Qadri. A number of mosques, including some in Bradford and Glasgow, expressed support for him, even if they haven't for Tanveer Ahmed. Both Tanveer Ahmed and Mumtaz Qadri came from a strand of Islam that's normally associated with a spiritual, liberal interpretation of religion, one that completely opposes Al-Qaeda and ISIS. But the murders they committed upsets the simplistic narrative that defines some sects as inherently violent, others peaceful. Extremism, it seems, is much more complicated. Tonight, Tanveer Ahmed faces a lengthy jail sentence, but even from behind bars, he seems able to spread his messages. This posting on Facebook appears to be him sending supporters Eid greetings earlier this week, although we haven't been able to verify it. The message ends with a chilling slogan. The penalty for those who insult the Prophet? Cut their heads from their bodies. The man who murdered your brother, he said he did so because he was defending the honor of the Prophet Muhammad, because he says your brother was claiming to be a prophet.
Muhammad would have done anything like that. I think it's very, very clear when you look at the history. He didn't resort to violence and things like this.
Asad Shah's family have been torn apart by the murder. They want to preserve his memory, but are in fear of their lives.
It's been very difficult for the family, and the family they don't feel safe anymore living here in Scotland, and it has split the family apart since the incident, and some members of the family have, they've left Scotland or are in the process of leaving, and it really shouldn't have come to this.
Sekunda Kamani reporting. Now,